problem. I just know that, like, you know, when you say if it's for the TV, then that makes sense. But
well,
my voice
this is
pretty loud.
And Carol, since you're first, whatever you do, everybody else will do. So if you go for 20 minutes, everybody's going to go for 20.
Oh, I have it all written out. It's 5 minutes.
I appreciate that.
I've done enough of these
But
to know.
you've been to these before.
Yeah, I've been enough of our college ones.
Yeah.
Holy moly. You should have seen this year.
The worst
This year was terrible.
Was it really?
Oh, terrible.
Oh.
And I was last. And these people went on and on and on and on. And it's got to stop. Like, I was on that, you know, we've been on that committee.
Yeah.
They need to be told. No, like, it's rude.
Yeah, I know. I mean, on one hand, it's your moment. On the other hand, it's not your moment. It's everyone. You know.
Exactly.
And everybody
Well,
wants to
and
go
when
home with
someone
something.
gives a request, please keep it under 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And someone
Yeah.
goes 20.
Sure.
That's
Well, that happens. We've had trouble the last 2 years with presenting.
yeah.
Taking
Well,
15 to 20
admit,
minutes.
like, I never received any. I didn't receive any information. So no one.
Oh, it was supposed to come from.
Oh, okay. All right. Was it a 5 minute or
Yeah.
less? Okay.
5 or less. And the inductees get 7 or less.
Okay.
So last year we had a 15-minute present and a 17-minute acceptance.
Oh, that's
was
cringeworthy.
Oh, I'm going.
Cringe.
We're already 3 more people to go.
Yeah. No problem.
So what time's the game start? 8?
Yeah, I think 8:15 or something like that. Yeah. Plenty of time.
Yeah. So Tommy, my son just told me there's a Christmas game this year. Unless they go a bye week high school kids fit in the cover.
guy's chin. Yes, exactly. I think we played some baseball. Good seeing you. Thanks for all the good.
Hello out there. We're going to probably get started maybe about 5-10 minutes. So if you haven't gotten your dessert, go get a nice piece of pie. If you have to get to the bathroom. Also, we have some great bartenders up there. If you want a nice drink of alcohol or tea or lemonade or whatever, please get one. Thank you.
The pictures aren't, and I didn't catch that. Go about this. People are looking at the program. That's what I think. And I already put them in that order. And I told Carol, can't tell that she's first. She's presenting Barb.
On the wall here with the plank, back there
I think it's anybody who's been a state champion or individual team. Oh, that's from Gettysburg. Okay. Kathy tell you that she found pictures that she can use? Yeah. I mean, I found pictures, but they were too pixelated and we blew them up. I couldn't see them. She said they have a thing at the high school you can do that.
It's right on there.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, I found his picture in the yearbook online, but when it looked good like this, and then you blow it up and you couldn't even tell who it was. But she said they have a machine at the high school that can blow them up and keep the detail. Definitely going to be recorded for you to watch. Here's my youngest grandson. He just started to crawl. Like this is the first time he's actually moved from his spot. Decided to roll over. He's determined. Richard just said that. We have this thing called WhatsApp, and all of our kids are on it. Every day, there's some communication through it. And Ryan and Rachel send pictures of kids all the time. So we get to really keep up with how they're doing. It's really great. That's great. So who yeah. That's great. So Jason and Jeff. What's she doing? Rachel asked me. She's good at it. I'd like to meet Jason again. I haven't talked to him since he was here. Is that right? He was a little squirrely. He's still squirrely. I always like Jason. That's good.
Okay, we're going to start here in about 3 minutes, okay? 3 minutes, so finish up. Or go to the bathroom quickly. 3 minutes.
You don't have to be a drinker. You just have to be a social.
read all the points. So people are playing. Also, they got here. Did they get enough votes? I don't know.
I'm not trying to just get rid of
Oh, just logistically. Do you want me to hand them anything, or do you want me to give it to you to hand them? Okay. Okay. And should we give it to them? Maybe give them their plaque when they come up? Okay. Okay. Okay.
It's 20 of them.
Okay. Oh, to finish up with Isaiah Lowe, Fred said he knows the parents of he's going to get in touch with them. City play attack. The city. What's the context? Okay. Oh. Attacker would be proper if they already know it's lacrosse, especially if you establish this lacrosse.
Okay, I see everybody is basically seated, and we'll get started here again. All right. Hopefully, you enjoyed the meal. We could give a nice round of applause to the Ragged Edge back there, Jake, and his helpers. Some of you are local, you know Alex Hayes, who worked at Gettysburg Times for many years. He's now up at Milton Hershey High School, doing communications for them. Anyway, let me introduce our board of directors for the Adams County Sports Hall of Fame. As I mentioned myself, my name is again Joe Yeck, president. I guess I've been president for a few years, probably a few years too many. But anyway, I'll hang in here as long as I don't get kicked out yet. Our secretary, like I said, that Parker LaRue was our secretary treasurer for many years, but he retired back in June. And we elected, stand up, Matt Sheeds. Matt Sheeds back there is our secretary. Also new on the board this year, just got inducted a year or two ago, or was it last year, Perry? Were you inducted last year, Perry Smith? Where's Perry? 2 years ago? He was a past Gettysburg High School wrestling coach, Perry Smith. He's our treasurer. Where's Perry? He must be teaching somebody some wrestling back there someplace in the far room. I don't know. Those guys never quit. Our historian who sang the national anthem, and again, a local and an inductee also a number of years back, 2014, I think. Am I right, Ed?
Yeah.
Ed was involved with track and field both at Gettysburg College and Gettysburg High School. And Ed Riggs, our historian. And we finally twisted somebody's arm, a female, to get her on the board, and we're hoping to get a few more females helping us out down the road. The beautiful, we'd never do this as guys, we always got the plastic flowers and stuff like this. The person came on and she said, we need to have real stuff here. So by the way, if whoever is at your table there, if there's an inductee, you certainly could take those flowers. If not, if you're not on a table with an inductee, you could pull a couple flowers out and take home. And if your better half is not here, men, you could always give it there and say you stopped and thought of her and brought flowers back to her or something like that. So whatever you want to do with them, please take them. Kathy Harner is our First Vice President. Kathy had a lot of background in sports, starting back in Littlestown. As a matter of fact, she pointed out that, she said, do we have anything up here with state champions? And we have a plaque up here, if you look over to your right, the PIAA state championship teams that have occurred in different schools over the time that we knew that the won state championships, not individual championships, but just state championships. And anytime we have something like that, in the past we've honored various teams. We brought the entire team into a banquet like this to honor them along with the inductees, which has been nice. So hopefully we'll see that down the road again. If you look also there, you see the Eddie Plank. He was one of our first inductees. He's in the Major League Hall of Fame. Back there on the other side over there is, which the inductees will receive from the state organization, a beautiful, what do we call it? Certificate. Call it a certificate. I guess that's what you would call it. From the state, and it's really nice. And it's one up there if you get a chance to read about it a little bit. And it'd be nice to frame and hang it someplace in your house. Hopefully in a man's or a woman's cave, wherever you have it. And then finally on the back, next to that is the Gettysburg Borough honors athletes just from Gettysburg for individual or state championships. So there have been a number of, and we've had inductees who've been inducted, and their names up there on that plaque for what they did as a state champion. So again, it's just it's a wonderful room, and we're lucky to have it. Continuing on with the board, our second vice president, and again, first year on the board is Max Lang. So Max presently teaches at Gettysburg High School and coaches basketball and golf. Am I right, Max? Is that it? Softball?
No, those are all former rifles. Wrestling, golf, and baseball.
Wow. Okay. Great for you. Next on there is our third. When they had this, when they started this, they have all these vice presidents. So the third vice president, which I guess is common for most organizations, third vice president is J.D. Sheeler. JD's a former Gettysburg guy, just returned a few years ago. He taught out there, was it Fulton County? Somerset, okay. And taught out there at a high school. And finally, and not to be least on the list here, but he's our President Emeritus, John Fisher. John? I don't see John here either. Oh, he's over here, I'm sorry. He's here. As your master of ceremonies, you're supposed to be funny, but I'm a pretty serious guy. And two things come to mind with me is, first of all, we just had Veterans Day this past Monday, and I'm a Vietnam Army veteran, and I'm very proud to be a veteran here in our country. And it's always nice when I hear things, people say, thank you for your service. My quick reply is that I say, you're worth it. And I think most veterans who became soldiers in whatever branch, was very proud when they came back. A little tougher as Vietnam veterans who maybe weren't have the reception that occurred back then when I got out, but certainly that's a big change now. I think we do have a deep feeling for our veterans, past and present. So again, Lefty, maybe in your closing benediction, besides Bob, you could certainly say a prayer for all those who active duty service members. The other thing that I'm even more proud of, and some of these bigger guys certainly know my wife. She was Kathy Bozak, and she married me 50 years ago. We just had our 50th anniversary in June. So Kathy again couldn't be here, John, but she was wish the best for you, and she didn't know everybody else was going to be here, but her mother's in the Spirit Trust, and she's 94, and they have some kind of program tonight, so she said, I can hear you anytime, Joe. I want to go see my mother. So anyway, just talking about marriage. People say 50 years. Well, first of all, I was lucky enough to have. I'm Catholic, and we had a Catholic mass, and I had my marriage vows renewed back in June. And the priest that did it, he's up in Lebanon County now. And I asked him to come if he would do my mass, because I taught him at Biggerville High School where I taught, and I coached him in basketball back in the 70s. And he didn't immediately go into the priesthood. He went off to college, and he went 5 years as an airline steward. And I don't know if he was up in the skies and he got the message from God to become a priest. I don't know. But anyway, he's been a priest for, probably 40 some years now. So I asked him to do that. And one of the things he commented, he said, you're one of 5% of people that are at 50 years married. He says some people naturally, they lose their, spouse or, divorce or whatever, but 5%, I felt pretty good. I said, how long is it going to take for me to get down to 2%? And it's 60 years. So my wife looked at me, she says, well, I don't know about that. But anyway, everybody always asks for advice. Being married 50 years, how did you do that? And well, one of the first things we always do, my wife and I, we go out for dinner. When we go out for dinner, we find the right atmosphere, have some drinks, nice conversation. I go on Tuesdays, she goes on Fridays. But no, seriously, you have to have manners, around your wife, and be respectful. So I haven't talked to my wife in a month, and the reason is, it's not polite to interrupt. No, but seriously, we always hold hands too. When we go out in public, we hold hands. I try to be romantic with her. The other day, we were walking down, and we were in one of the local malls, and we're holding hands. And this young couple, I guess they were married too, just look at that older couple, how nice they are. They're holding hands, walking down. Why aren't you holding my hand? And I leaned over to the guy. Says, the reason I'm holding my wife's hand, if I let it go, she goes shopping. But anyway, seriously now, I married, Miss Wright. I married Miss Wright. I felt she was like, Miss Universe. Certainly. She was Fire Queen. I think she was runner-up, and maybe the Apple Queen at the state. I don't know what. But anyway, but seriously, she was Miss Wright. But I didn't know her first name was Always. But seriously now, I always get the last word in an argument. It doesn't matter what's going on. I get the last word, and it doesn't matter what it is. We might have disagreements, etc. But the last word is yes, dear. So that's it with our. Guys, you see my wife. Make sure you tell her I said all nice things, okay? And she agreed to this, I think. So moving on here, we have our first inductee. Get away from me and get on to Barb Jordan here, and the pre. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I do that, I was going on to there. But if you look at the program, we have our. We want to introduce our guests and Hall of Fame members that are here. John Fisher, the President Emeritus, will do that. Okay, so John, please come on up.
Thank you, Henny Young.
Yeah, exactly.
The following honor inductees are present tonight, and we're always very happy to see any of you come. And some of you have been coming very faithfully. Please stand up and remain standing until I get everybody. And if I miss somebody at the end, let me know. From last year, 2023, Bryant Meckley, hold your applause until the end, please. Thank you, Brian. And Scott Anderson. 2022, Perry Smith. 2018, Robert Gano. 2017, Lee Rensel. 2015, Jeff Cook. 2014, Edward Riggs. 2013, Joe Yeck. 2008, Parker LaRue. 2008, David Klunk. 2007, John Campo. And 2001, Gareth Lefty Beiser.
And 2014, Carl Cantelli. 2014, Carl Cantelli.
And I've left out somebody. I'm sorry. 2014, Carol Cantelli. Thank you. Who else?
Ray Gowker.
Huh?
Ray Gowker, 2021.
Ray Gowker, 2021. Anybody else? Thank you all for coming.
Okay, we're going to get into our inductees, the presenters, and a little something from each inductee. The first one that will be inducted will be Barb Jordan. Barb, I guess if you looked at the program and you got a chance to look through everything, her, I guess, background is connected with lacrosse and field hockey. Am I right about that, Barb? Okay. Well, you probably know the answer to this, Barb. Why did the lacrosse coach say to her therapist? What did the lacrosse coach say to her therapist?
You got me, I don't know.
The team is stringing me along. One more, Barb, since you didn't get that one. Why did the attacker have to rush to the bathroom before the game? Why did the attacker have to rush to the bathroom before the game? She took a lacrossative before the game.
Appropriate response.
I know you're laughing with me and not at me, but thank you, I appreciate it. Okay, anyway, moving on to the presenter for Barb Jordan is Carol Cantelli. Carol.
Whoa, is he a tough act to follow or what? Good evening, everyone, and congratulations to the 5 class of 2024 inductees we celebrate this evening. I am honored to present Barb Jordan, my colleague, neighbor, workout buddy, and dear friend, for induction into the Adams County Sports Hall of Fame. Barb and I shared a sideline for 20 years at Gettysburg College as the women's lacrosse team coaches. In addition, we literally shared an office wall in Bream Gym and a seat on way too many bus rides. Raised outside of Philadelphia in Delco, Delaware County, Barb found her passion for sports, excelling in them all. She graduated from Central League powerhouse Pencrest High School, competing on the field hockey, basketball, and lacrosse teams, and where she would eventually be selected as a member of their Ring of Honor. Her prowess on the courts and fields at Pencrest landed her an athletic scholarship to Penn State University. At Penn State, Barb was a 3-time women's lacrosse All-American, a 3-time most valuable player. That's huge because you're selected by your teammates for that. And a team captain her senior year. She also earned varsity letters on the Nittany Lions field hockey team. In addition, she was a member of the United States Women's National Lacrosse Team from 1982 to 89, was a starter on the 86 U.S. World Cup that captured only a silver medal, Barb. We were looking for the gold, but we didn't get it. And that was played at Swarthmore College in Pennsylvania on our soil. She also served as captain of the U.S. under-23 team that toured England, Scotland, and Wales in 1987. These accomplishments landed her into the U.S. Lacrosse Philadelphia Chapter Hall of Fame, the PA Sports Delaware County Chapter Hall of Fame, and the elite U.S. National Lacrosse Hall of Fame. Wow. And I bet I've missed about 3 or 4 others. Perhaps her exceptional athletic career or her summers spent working field hockey and lacrosse camps led her into the teaching and coaching profession. She would spend 6 years at the National Cathedral School in DC as an educator, coach, and PE department chair, and then transfer into the collegiate coaching ranks with stints at Vanderbilt, Bucknell, and eventually Gettysburg College. Not too shabby, right? During those 25 plus years coaching both collegiate field hockey and lacrosse, she marched up and down those sidelines close to 900 total games. 900 games in all kinds of weather. However, it was at the practices, the day-to-day grind, where Barb would truly find her joy and demonstrate her knowledge, skill, and passion. It was in the practice environment where Barb would develop champions and women of character. Success requires more than just the recruitment of talented players. And while Barb was very good at assessing talented athletes for her programs, she was legendary in choosing the right people for Gettysburg College, and then blending all those personalities and skill sets to create a positive culture. All this happened at practice. So how did Barb tap into those varied personalities, motivations, and styles? How did she get these diverse student athletes to compete at outstanding levels and in sync with one another? Well, the answer is simple. It's twofold. Number one, she cares. Barb takes a genuine interest in people and is curious about them. She coached each athlete individually, which took time, dedication, and a boatload of patience. She learned what made each kid tick. Number two, well, Barb herself. You see, Barb possesses a multitude of qualities and characteristics that made her approachable to all players, as well as to her staffs and her colleagues. Some of these qualities are actually polar opposites of one another, yet it works, and no one trait, characteristic, or style is superior to the other. It was downright magical observing Barb incorporate her various traits to fit the situation. This was the secret sauce to her coaching style. She was fierce and kind, competitive as hell, but collaborative. She was a comedian and yet reserved, strong-willed and principled, yet flexible, quiet, but so captivating, rule follower, but adventurous, proud and accomplished, but the most humble person I've ever met, tough and tender. I could go on and on. All these qualities made her a truly exceptional coach, and more importantly, make her a truly exceptional human being. I believe it was Billy Graham who once said, "A coach will impact more people in 1 year than the average person will in an entire lifetime." Barb, what an impact you have had and continue to have on all the lives you touch. It is my honor to present Miss Barbie Jordan.
Wow, thanks, Carol. So thank you everybody for being here tonight. As you can see from your program, I usually have more hair than this. I had a little fight with cancer this summer. I won, but unfortunately my hair lost. But it's just starting to come back in, which is good because, you know, it's getting cold out and my head's getting cold. So this is my head's maiden voyage outside without a hat on since June. I was hoping for blonde, but I don't think it's going to happen. So I'd like to thank the Board of Directors for this wonderful honor of being inducted into Adams County Sports Hall of Fame. I was going to name everybody, but since Joe just did, I would just like to thank you all for the work that you do on behalf of this chapter and the Adams County community. I'd also like to thank Carol and John Campo for your nomination for this very wonderful award. I'd also like to congratulate the other inductees for this evening: Shain Leggett, Tim Naylor, John Oyler, and Madelyn Yannetti. Your list of accomplishments is impressive, and I'm honored to be inducted with all of you. Thank you, Carol, for the introduction, but really for so much more than that. The opportunity to have worked with you side by side for 20 years at Gettysburg College is a highlight of my career. I feel blessed that I gained so many wonderful memories and also an invaluable friend in you over all of these years. You've changed my life, and your friendship means the world to me. I was a shy kid, as Carol mentioned, and now I'm a shy old lady. But I found my place on the playing fields. Growing up outside of Philly, I played every sport I could: field hockey, basketball, lacrosse, softball, track, tennis, soccer, biking, skateboarding, and roller skating all day long, just to name a few. My all-time favorite thing to do, though, was play football in the backyard with the neighborhood boys. To be honest, I think football was my true sport, and I think the NFL really lost out on a potential all-pro running back, wide receiver, or safety. I know I'm not very tall, but I believe it's the size of the fight in the dog that truly matters, and I would have loved to have given that a try. I also really wanted to be a part of the roller derby. I was fortunate to have some of the best coaches and teammates in high school, at Penn State and beyond, who taught me so much more than just skills and plays. My coaches, as well as my teammates, shaped who I have become. We were taught to compete with integrity and respect, and I am grateful for all of their mentorship and life lessons that I incorporate into my life on a daily basis. I've been lucky to hopefully have passed those lessons along to the teams that I have coached in field hockey and lacrosse throughout my career. I've always loved to teach, and I always felt that the field was my actual classroom. In my opinion, there really is no better job than working with motivated student athletes. So much fun, so inspirational, and so challenging all at the same time. Any success that I have had is directly due to the teams I have been a part of during my playing and coaching career. But there's two teams that I cherish the most who are not on the playing fields at all. The first is my family team. My parents were the absolute best. They always encouraged me to try new sports and anything that was of interest to me. They taught me so much about compassion and empathy, and they will always hold a special place in my heart. Growing up with 4 older brothers and an older sister was chaotic and fun and very loud. They always supported my athletic interests and let me join in any games that they were playing. I also learned out of necessity how to do the bob and weave and dodge incoming punches when the roughhousing and fighting would start, which it inevitably would with 4 brothers. I think they inadvertently helped me with my quickness and agility. I'm fortunate that my sister Jean Ann and her husband Bruce are here with me tonight. Bruce tried out for our family over 40 years ago, and he made it. They mean the world to me. They each embody the best characteristics of what it means to be a teammate. They have team-first mentalities and would do anything for their family. They are the most caring, selfless, and giving people I know. I consider them the MVP of our family team. Finally, I am grateful for my Gettysburg College work team. Many of those teammates are here tonight. Mike, Carol, Kelly, Charlotte, Campo, you are the best. You make the lives of those around you better. You are such great role models, and you continue to inspire and motivate me every day to be better and to make a difference. I am grateful for each of you. When I interviewed at the Berg all those years ago, I knew I wanted to be a part of your team. I came because of the colleagues you were, but I stayed because of the friends you became. Adams County is a special place, and I am so happy to call it home. Thank you once again for this incredible honor. My wish for each of you is that you are always surrounded by great teams and great teammates who bring joy and love into your life as mine have for me. Thank you very much.
Each inductee will get a plaque. Hold that up there, Barb. Out
Sure.
there. Okay. It says Adams County Sports Hall of Fame inducts Barb Jordan, November 14, 2024, and that will be for you. And we will get a plaque up on the wall also with your picture and your bio.
All right. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Next up is Shain Leggett. I got to know Shain a little bit. Taught him at Big Grove High School back in late 1990s, I'm assuming, Shain, right? In that period of time. And even though I coached basketball, even though he wrestled, I still liked him, But anyway, he was, as you see in his bio, he certainly had a great career. But good wrestlers know, certain things about things. But my question to you is, what is a zombie's favorite move, Shain? And what is a zombie's favorite move? The brain buster. And Shain, what do wrestlers, I know you couldn't eat a lot at times, but when wrestlers can't eat, what do wrestlers eat for lunch?
Everything.
Close, but make sure in that everything you also had the Hulk hoagie. Anyway, moving on here with Shain. While you explain these to some people who didn't get those, I'm sure you will. Thank you. His presenter is Bob Gano.
Thanks, Joe. Good evening. Congratulations to all the honorees, your families. What an incredible night for you to share in the accomplishments of all these special people. As I came over tonight, I was looking into what is the definition of fame. As soon as I put my glasses on, I can read it. Okay, the definition of fame is the state of being known or talked about by many people, especially on account of notable achievements. Well, that's certainly what we're here to recognize tonight. I met Shain Leggett in I believe it was 1997. I'd just been appointed the head wrestling coach at Biglerville High School. I had come from DeLone Catholic. I coached against him the year before when he was a freshman. But really didn't know a lot about Shain. Quickly came to learn that he was pretty athletic. He was one of those old school three-sport athletes, and we don't have many of those anymore. Shain did it all at about 115 to 120 pounds before he started eating, okay? When I first was able to, and what an honor it was to be able to be a part of his journey over the next 3 years. He had been a section champ the year before, so I knew he was pretty talented, but really didn't know what I was getting myself into, and recognized very quickly he was gifted from the top position. And anybody that's a wrestling fan, I mean, that's where you want to be good at. Shain was very gifted. As you see in his bio, at one point, he was the career pin leader for District 3 all time. And so that was pretty special. I recognized early that he could run a half Nelson, which is a pretty basic move. And I thought, well, we got to be able to do more than this to win at a high level. And I think I might have told him that at some point. He certainly proved me wrong. He ended up winning a state title with that same move. We made a couple adjustments. I don't know if he was totally bought into what I was preaching when I first got there. But what a gift he had, and it was a joy to be in the corner and watch a lot of the things that happened. Leadership roles as well. you know, the year before his freshman year, I think you guys were 4-15. And as along with another gifted bunch of guys, they won the Southeastern Regional title in 2000. So that was his senior year. Just a couple little anecdotes that I think are fond memories for me and funny in some respects as well. My first year, it was our second match, and Shain had a little trouble pushing away from the dinner table from time to time. So you weren't wrong there, Joe. At lunchtime, I couldn't keep track of him. And so, you know, we already had a forfeit in the lineup, and he didn't make weight against Mechanicsburg, and it was a away match. And, you know, so I think he thought, well, I'm not going to be able to wrestle tonight. And I thought, well, no, you're wrestling the next weight above you. So he wrestled a kid that was, you know, probably significantly bigger than him, was beating the living tar out of him, and ended up throwing the kid on his head, basically, and lost by illegal disqualification. Now, that was pretty bad in that, you know, I felt bad for him. He was winning. He was against all odds in adversity. He was doing well. And at the end of the match, so we lost in a close match, and then I saw his mom, Cheryl, walking towards me at the end after the match, and she didn't look happy. Well, I had been told that, you know, Cheryl would let you know how she felt about certain things before I got there. Well, she let me know how she felt that night. But she certainly said, you know, what happened? And I said, you didn't make weight. She said, enough said, right, and walked away. And they were the greatest wrestling parents, so, you know, they really were part of his journey. The next year was his junior year, which is the year he won the state championship. Again, what a wonderful journey it was. You know, he lost one match early in the year, and that was early in December. Probably was a humbling experience. And we got to work then about things we needed to change and maybe just refine. That year, he did not lose another match. And so at the section tournament, just to give you a little bit of that journey, because it was a special journey. It was a special 4-week journey. We were at DeLone Catholic, and of course he was seeded number 1, and he won in the first round pretty easily. Back then you had to, well, still you need to make weight 2 days in a row. So we got him on the scale, and it wasn't pretty, and his father, Donnie was pretty much, I'll get him to make weight, don't worry. I didn't worry about it because Donnie was going to get that done. I couldn't have been any more hard than Donnie was on Shain at certain points, so I knew when to pull back the reins, and you know, I didn't need to pile it on. The story goes he won that sectional tournament easily. The district tournament, we wrestled a kid from Conrad Weiser in the finals, and he pinned him. The next week, we were at the Southeastern Regionals. He wrestled a kid from Conrad Weiser again, the same kid, and we beat him by technical superiority, so I think it was 17-2. And now comes the state tournament. So we're feeling pretty good about ourselves. We're, I think, ranked number 1 in the state. Get him on the scale, first day, he makes weight. We went back to the hotel, came back for the first round, and Shain just looked lethargic, okay? Just didn't look himself. And myself and Tony Kuntz, who was my assistant at the time, sort of like, what's going on? We came to find out later he had a lot at breakfast that we weren't aware of. My father used to come down to the state tournament, and I'm from Northwestern PA normally, so my dad would come down with all his cronies, and you know, it was after that first round. They didn't wrestle the second match till the second day, the quarterfinals, and Shain went back with his parents to the hotel, and a little bit before Coach Kuntz and I did, and my father said to me, is Shain, everything okay with Shain? I said, what do you mean, Dad? He said, well, he's been past me a couple times with French fries and ice cream and a sundae, and I started to get a little uneasy. So I said, okay, well, back then we had adjoining hotel rooms. So I made sure that I got a card key for his room as well. So I got back and I said to Donnie and Cheryl, hey, where's Shain at? And they said, well, he's in the hotel room. said, okay, I knocked on the door and nobody answered, and I thought, okay, what's going on here? I then used my card key and I got entry, and it was like a sauna in there, okay? So if you can envision, he was in bed and he's got his covers pulled up right next to his neck, and I'm like, okay, let's get on the scale, okay? Now, he wrestled 103 pounds, okay? You can understand, he wrestled 103 pounds that year. Same height as he is right now. Put him on the scale, he weighed 108.5 pounds, okay? Needless to say, I wasn't real happy, okay? There are times as a coach you need to get tough on a kid. A lot of encouragement, but sometimes they just need a swift kick in the butt. That was one of those times, and so I just said, okay, let's get your running gear on. And he said, Shain said, well, where am I running to? I said, nah, don't worry about that. I'll figure that out, okay? And I told Coach Koontz, get the van. And so anybody that's been on Chocolate or Hershey Park Drive or Chocolate Town, I don't know, Chocolate Avenue in Hershey, it goes to Palmyra, okay? So we got in the van, and Coach Koontz said, where are we heading? I said, just keep driving, okay? We got about 5 miles out, and I said, okay, well, I'll see you in about 45 minutes. You want to be a state champ, or, if it's an hour and a half, 2 hours, I guess you don't really want to be there that bad. And he said, he looked at me, I could tell there was, concern on his face, and I said, and by the way, one last thing, I need you to empty your pockets. Okay, now he says, well, why do you want me to empty my pockets? I said, well, Shain, I know you well enough. You probably have money in there to stop at a convenience store on the way back, okay? We're gonna make sure we make weight. Now, Cheryl wasn't real pleased with me at that point, Cheryl said, he doesn't have, I don't think he has reflective gear on. I said, well, Cheryl, the only way he's gonna get hit by a car is if he jumps out in front of it, okay? There's sidewalks here, they're plenty wide. 45 minutes later, he was back, put him on the scale. Next day, the kid makes weight, wins state championship the next night. I'll never forget that. There are those times, again, that your kids are special. Kids like him were special. Anybody that's coached here knows that you get kids, athletes that you coach, and there are things that you can't teach them. They just do because they're special athletes. Shain had incredible balance. He had incredible flexibility. And there were things that I just couldn't teach him, or I couldn't teach other kids on the team, because they weren't capable of doing it the same way. He had long forearms, and that's really important in wrestling for leverage. I had an assistant coach that year that he would say to me, Shain, we'd get in the Mid-Penn wrestling tournament, and that's where all the schools were involved. And Shain would go put himself in a bad position, and he'd start bumping me and hitting me in the ribs. I said, don't worry, he's okay. And then next thing you know, he'd flip the kid over and he'd pin him, okay? He was incredible at that. And for that, I'll always remember that year. And Shain, thank you for letting me be part of that journey. And with that, I present Shain Leggett.
Thanks. I thought a lot about this night and whether I was going to write a speech or just wing it, so I chose the latter. So if I screw this up, that's why. I got to thank the board, obviously, first and foremost, for having this night and being nominated. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. I got to thank Coach Gano. Without him, all this wouldn't be possible. He definitely pushed me to the limits, and obviously that night was one of those nights. And yeah, I was like, Coach, where are we going? He's like, just don't worry about it. How far are we going? I'll stop when I feel like it. The van stopped. He said, get out. I'll see you back at the hotel. So that story is definitely 100% true. And the rest is history. I got to thank Mom and Dad, from the early age of 3, 4 years old, driving me up and down the East Coast, AAU Nationals. It's just been a long, long journey. And again, without them, pushing me and dedication to become the best in the state. Wrestling has taught me a lot of life lessons, you know, determination, motivation, and I think that I wouldn't be where I'm at without that sport. Obviously, like Coach Gano said, I was a 3-sport athlete. Loved football, but at 5'6" and 105 pounds, you're not going to be a linebacker, you know what I mean? But I made the most of it. I was a linebacker for Biglerville and a left halfback, and I made a lot of tackles and scored a lot of touchdowns. But again, wrestling and my athleticism through wrestling helped me be successful in football at a smaller stature. So again, thank you to my parents, thanks Coach Gano, thank you to the board, and my beautiful family. My 2 boys, my daughter, my wife Carrie, all here to support me tonight. Again, I wouldn't be there, be in this position without, you know, all of them. Actually, my current wife was my girlfriend the year I won states. She was one of the first persons I ran up to on the 2nd level to give a hug and a kiss after I won my title. Yeah, so I don't have much else to say other than just thanks for all the support from the community and the board. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Next up is Tim Naylor. I have a connection with Tim over the years when he was in the high school. I coached him in basketball. I don't want to say too much because that's your job, the presenter, but Tim, what was exciting was that Biglerville never won a district basketball game until Tim showed up on the scene back in the 80s. And he was on the first team to win a district game. Talking about remembering things, Coach, we went up against Eastern New York. And Eastern New York, for 2 years in a row, were District 3 champions. They returned 3 of their starters. Their backup players were that became starters were excellent, and they were one of the best teams at that level in York County. And they had a 6'6" kid in the post, and Tim was our postman. And Tim scored 25 points that game. We ended up winning by, I think, about 18 points, and held that big guy to about 10 points, who was averaging over 20-some, you know, in the York County League. So that was, you know, pretty exciting. He went on to score over 1,000 points in his career. Hopefully I'm not stealing your thunder. And he had a single game of 40 points and went on to have a great career at Shippensburg. Shippensburg never won a PSAC championship until, again, Tim showed up on the scene. And in his senior year, he helped lead them to a PSAC championship. So before I have his daughter come up here, Brooke Naylor, I got to ask you, Tim, you know, what does LeBron James order at a coffee shop? What does LeBron James order at a coffee shop? Time's up. Time's up. Now you'll have to explain this to Perry because he's a wrestling guy. He might not know the answer to this. A triple-double espresso.
Good one.
Did you get that, Perry? And Tim, did you hear about the basketball game that's held for TV judges?
I have not.
It's at the People's Court. Okay. His presenter is Brooke Naylor.
Hi everyone. I'm going to repeat a couple things that Mr. Yeck said, but that's okay. First of all, congratulations to all the inductees. We're certainly in a room full of some incredible people. I'm so thankful to be standing before you all today for his induction into the Adams County Hall of Fame. My dad is many things. He's a great basketball player, a businessman, brother, friend, husband, role model, and of course, the best dad in the world. The list could go on, but I was told I only have a few minutes. So I've heard stories and read newspaper clippings about his accomplishments when he was a canner at Biglerville High School. But when I ask him about those years, he talks about his team. He takes great pride in being a part of Biglerville athletics. During his time there, he scored 1,516 career points. He pulled down 1,200 rebounds and averaged 5.2 blocks per game. In addition, he was named to the All-County All-Star team 3 times. He was named the most outstanding player in the Blue Mountain League. He led his team to a district playoff win and was an honorable mention McDonald's All-American. Following his high school career, he went on to play at Shippensburg University, where he led his team to, sorry guys, I lost my spot. Went on to play at Shippensburg University, where he was on the All-PSAC second team during his senior year. He also helped the Raiders secure their first ever PSAC championship. To this day, he still loves the game of basketball. He still gets together with his buddies on Sunday mornings and plays basketball. He even just participated in an over 50 tournament in September. Now granted, he couldn't walk right for about a week, but it just goes to show the love he still has for the game. His passion is truly inspiring. When my sister and I played, he would do workouts with us, he would watch film with us to make us the best players we could possibly be. Even though the game was important, it was the learning lessons that were even more important to him. My dad stressed the importance of hard work, never giving up, pushing through adversity, and of course, having fun. Because of him, my sister and I ended up having successful basketball careers of our own. I would also like to state that I did beat him in 1v1 several times, but of course you would never hear him admit that. Yeah, I just wanted to tell you all that right now. But anyway, I just want to thank everyone who made it possible for my dad to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. He achieved some incredible things throughout his athletic career. Dad, this is just one achievement. We cannot wait to see what else you accomplish. I present to you my dad, Tim Naylor. Thank you.
So, thank you. And for those who may not know me, I am competitive. So whenever I was over there saying cheater, I do not lose willingly. So she did not cheat. She won fair and square because I don't just give things away. You got to earn them. So yes, I also want to thank and congratulate the new inductees for this year. Very honored. I also like to wish them congratulations and future success to all. I do appreciate all the nomination, the people who voted for me to come here. It is a much appreciated honor. So, my daughter was talking about playing basketball this past Sunday, and so basketball has given me a lot. And I don't know if you can see, but there's a black eye right here. There's a little bit of tinge there. But yes, I enjoy getting hit. I enjoy the competition of the game. I enjoy being with my friends. I say this story as far as I love my family. I have 4 sisters, 2 daughters, and a wife. I like my guy time, and basketball gives me my guy time. And so, for that, I enjoy being around them. So, including the black eyes, there's other things that basketball has really given me. Probably the other most important thing is helped me catch the eye of a cheerleader back in the day in high school. So that is my wife, Kelly, we've been married for over 27 years, and been together since my junior year. So that has been a great thing, a great added bonus from basketball. So, but also other things, it has certainly helped me meet new people and make new friends. And it certainly has helped me in my business career. I grew up in a very rural part of Biglerville. there wasn't many people around me. There's, this was in the hills, and so meeting new people, traveling to new locations was something we just didn't do. Sports. My parents, the extent of basketball they knew was, hey, if the ball went in, it was worth 2 points, and that was about it for basketball. So, and I did track, and they were supportive, but sports really wasn't a huge thing. It was, hey, let's go to work, let's do some things. So, that also taught me some great lessons. So yeah, I was not an outgoing person. Basketball was a thing that pushed me to meet new people, explore new areas, and it was certainly eye-opening, some of the places that I have gone. In high school, the new places were the BML, Blue Mountain League. I mean, I guess whenever it was my senior year, that was whenever the Blue Mountain League, it disbanded. Became another league. But for me, it was like, hey, James Buchanan, Waynesboro, Greencastle. These are just new places, not that far away, but it was different for me. College, oh man, new multi-states, going to Erie. What the heck is going on here? That was like as far as mind-blowing. So yes, it was a little bit of a rough start for me as far as freshman and sophomore year, things like that, because I was just not used to a lot of different people and stuff like that. But it was really exciting. I enjoyed certainly my college career. Just a little story as far as the championship game. I was really as far as hyped up. I remember getting in, going for a rebound, getting it. Probably should have just dunked it, whatever. But going back up because I was still so nervous, so jacked up. I thought I broke the backboard by throwing the ball at it. Luckily, it went in as far as the hoop. But I just remember I think the coach then looked and said, "Hey, get him out of there. This is going to end up bad." But so it was just nice. It was certainly helped the team get to win the championship. That what a wonderful feeling that was as far as traveling on the bus ride back. So when I talk about as far as the differences, that certainly has helped me in my business career. Over the years playing with many people, I learned differences are good. I needed someone who could shoot from far away, from a distance. They could dribble and weave through people and stuff like that. Those are things that I knew my weaknesses. I knew that was something that I was not that good at. So I appreciated, it's like, hey, I appreciated all those differences. And so, I think when I think about that, I think if the team was all me, I mean, we'd block a lot of shots, but we wouldn't be very fun to watch. Our strategy would be, all right, throw the ball up to the rim, go get the rebound, try to lay it back up. That would be our strategy. Again, we would lead the league in blocks, but not too many people, we wouldn't be very successful. So those differences stuck in my mind to say, hey, if I'm going to be successful, I need to have some people around me that know that what my weaknesses are, and could do those. So it taught as far as each of us working as a team, getting the job done. Those are things as far as in my sport, basketball, and all team sports are like this. So it helped me grow, and it helped me as far as when I'm leading people in business and stuff for my companies. It has helped immensely when I'm interviewing people and stuff like that. Say, hey, do you want to be in the business? What are you good at? I mean, I know what I'm good at. I don't want to hire another one of me. I want to hire somebody who's going to help me. So, those are the things that lessons I'll never forget, and has certainly helped me. And as like most people here, I went into the coaching end of it after, as far as got out of college. Still played a lot of basketball with the friends and stuff like that. But when the daughters started, I wanted to get them as far as the lessons into coaching, with coaching, and get them into the lessons as far as sports. So, and that has been a ton of fun. Loved as far as coaching. Coaching my daughters have been a blessing. I know they can laugh at me for some of the things I've said and taught them. And believe me, they've told me many, many times some of the things that we've gone over. But I know they have learned the lessons that sports teach you. You have to work hard to succeed, learn how to handle failure, learn how to handle difficult situations, and many, many more. It was difficult to watch, but I knew it would get them prepared for the real world. I'm very proud of my daughters, and also my niece who is here with me, because I know she had, when you're doing sport, there's always things. I mean, she had a knee injury. There's just things that set you back. You need to learn how to adapt and overcome. So I always thank sports for helping me prepare myself for the real world. This also leads me to thank Coach Yeck. Being a coach, going through all those things, where he's like watching, saying, I know I was not the smartest basketball player whenever I first started. There was no doubt about that. Again, as far as like my parents, it was, the ball went in, it was 2 points. So, I thank him for, taking a chance. And at that time, as far as, was a freshman, and he said, hey, let's bring him up to play as far as varsity and learn and stuff like that. And that was, I believe, especially at that time, that was like, hey, what the heck's going on here? That was different. I mean, it's kind of more common now for those things to happen, but it was, it was something big back in the day. And so I appreciate everything he has done for me, the knowledge that he's taught me. And so, it's one of those things where, I'm glad I have the opportunity really to say thank you, because it does mean a lot to me as far as the things that I have done. One of the stories that I have, again, I taught my daughters, coached my daughters, and there's no better feeling. Like it was youth basketball that I would teach, and it was basically 3rd, 4th to 6th grade. And there's no better feeling. You can't pay this amount of money. But whenever you see, and I taught the girls, whenever you'd see them make that first shot and that look, they look at their parents, and then they'd have that look on their face. That was priceless, absolutely priceless. And I got to see that as far as with my daughters and with many other girls and stuff like that. But so I encourage you, like when the next time you're at a game, whether it's even a wrestling or something, especially when the youth, just look at their face whenever something good happens. It is just amazing. But saying that again, I thank everyone here. It's been a great honor. And so by the way, if you need oil, propane, pool water, HVA service, I'm your guy. So thank you again.
This year I've been quite lucky. When I say lucky, only because I'm from and taught at an Upper Adams School District at Biggerville High School. This year, for some reason, we're nominated out of the people that were on the ballot. 3 of the 5 inductees this year were from Biggerville High School. So it's unusual, but it happens every once in a while. For the longest time, there was a lot of DeLone Catholic people up here. Etc. Yeah, and so I'm happy that we've had this opportunity to hear so far from Shain and from Tim. And next up is John Oyler, who goes back before those guys. I guess back in the 60s, correct, John? Yes. Yep. John. You were involved a lot in cross country and track, and also in the high school and also the college, so at Princeton University, correct? And I was trying to think of, I have this, running joke, but I can never catch it. But anyway, John, I know you're also you're a lawyer for your career, and why did the lawyer cross the road? Why did the lawyer cross the road?
To the other
You're close, John. You had to serve the chicken a subpoena. And up next for John here, for his presenter is presented by Gail Faulkner Oyler. Okay.
Thank you. Good evening to everyone, and it's truly my pleasure to be among so many talented, caring, kind people, and it comes through, believe me. Anyway, my name is Gail Faulkner, and my husband John asked me to introduce him as the recipient of this award. And I felt there was some reluctance on his part, and it's perhaps because I am relatively new to John's life. We've only been married 17 years, maybe known each other for 20, and I wasn't around for any of his achievements, his accomplishments. His running, I never heard of Biglerville High School or whatever, but anyway. But I have to tell you, it wasn't very long into our relationship that I recognized how very, very meaningful his running career has been for him and how it has colored his life. And it's a big part, and the pride that he has in having been a Pennsylvania state champion, it comes through, and he's not a braggart, I don't mean that, but he has a lot of pride in that. I was an English major, and I view the world in metaphors, and a metaphor from my life and other people's lives is that we're big pieces of fabric, and the threads of that fabric and the warp and the weft are our experiences, our friendships, our parents, the events in our lives that have colored us and made us who we are, and some of those threads are strong and some are shiny, and some give us a sense of self, and clearly, if I might bring it back to John, this achievement, this having been a state champion on the high school level, it has impacted greatly the fabric of his life. My friend, the basketball player, talked about the lessons that he learned from having accomplished what he accomplished. Were so very, very meaningful for him. And on a day-to-day level, he loves running, he jogs a lot. I use the word jog now, it's no longer running because of our age, but he loves it, he loves watching it on television. Sometimes I think he's working and I walk in his office and he has some obscure track meet on that he's watching, and he's cheering and he's yelling, and he just loves it with grandchildren, and he goes to these, township fun runs and things like that and cheers these kids on, and it truly has impacted his life. Being a Pennsylvania state champion has mattered to him, and it continues to matter to him. And I know he's very, very proud at having been nominated for this tonight. I wish I could give you more stories. The stories have been wonderful, but that's what I have to say. He'll have to tell his own story and tell us about the fabric of his life. John Oyler.
Thank you, Gail. It was a great introduction. I'm going to begin with abbreviated thank yous since there's been a lot of thanking. But at the top of the list, and number one, is my friend and high school classmate, Rick Cogley. Rick and I hadn't seen each other for many years until about a year ago, and we got together for lunch in Harrisburg. And at some point during the lunch, he asked if I'd ever heard of or knew of or wanted to know about this organization. And We talked about it, and he said, you ought to allow me to nominate you, and I agreed to that, and he did, and thanks for everyone who approved of that and voted for me. Thank you. Most importantly, I want to acknowledge my Biglerville High School classmates. I have an entire table here, and some were also teammates on the track team from 64 to 68. It's a long time ago. Looking back on my competitive running career, I think about the coaches that made a difference for me. My first coach at Biglerville was Don Sterner. He died a very young man, but he coached me for 2 years. And Don believed in AAU competition and took me to track meets around the country that really exposed me to a high level of competition at a young age. And one of the benefits of that experience was I learned that no matter how good you think you are, or maybe even how good you actually are, there's always someone faster and someone who can jump higher. And I learned that early on. But I also learned that I had the potential to be a good runner and maybe a very good runner. So in high school, in my day, we competed in yards and not in meters. I ran the 100, the 220, the 440, the 600 yards in college indoors, the 1,000 yards indoors, the 440 relay, the 880 relay, the mile relay, a lot of different distances, but of course my best distance was the 440, and as Gail mentioned, I was state champion in 1968. I will stress, AA champ, not AAA champ, but the times were pretty comparable that year. But maybe most meaningful to me, we also won the mile relay. And you know, track is such an individual sport until you run the relays, and every team member has a responsibility because you're supporting the other 3 people in the race. And we had a really good mile relay team. And we had a good team from 64 to 68. We didn't win every race, but we won most of the races. And maybe one of the highest compliments paid to our relay team, and one of the problems with having teammates here is they'll hear me tell these stories and they'll say it really didn't happen that way, but my memory's better than theirs. So it was the Cedar Cliff relays, 67 or 68, probably 68, and I walked my way over to the Harrisburg High School track team. I knew some of the guys, they were good, so I liked to talk to them. And one of them recognized me and said, "You're with Biglerville, your mile relay team?" I said, "Yes." He said, "You guys are pretty good." But he said, "Today, you'll be looking at us from the back." And the rest is history. We won the race that day. But when you have that kind of sort of compliment from peers, it means something. Because I was good at track, I was a recruited athlete and went to Princeton. And, you know, in high school, I won a lot of races. I got to college and I didn't win so many anymore. And that was a bit of a shock, of course. But what it caused me to do was to concentrate more on leadership skills. And I was elected captain of our freshman team. I was elected captain of our varsity team my senior year. And those are the things that are most meaningful to me today, not any given race or series of races. So one quick story about leadership. When I was in college, we ran a lot of dual meets. That doesn't happen anymore today, but it did then. We rode a bus to Ithaca, New York, to run a dual meet against Cornell, and that was Friday night. Saturday morning, we wake up, it's about 45 degrees, it's pouring rain. Of course, we were running on a cinder track, And the Cornell coach said to our coach, if you don't want to run today, we understand. And the coach said to me, you take your team into the locker room, there'll be no coaches in there, and you decide what you want to do. And there was a lot of discussion, and it was going the wrong direction as far as I'm concerned. And a couple of guys looked at me and said, you're team captain, what do you think? And I said, we're here. The conditions are the same for all of us. It's a cinder track, it'll be fun to be dirty, let's go run. And that's what everyone stood up, and we competed that day and won the meet. My father was at the Cornell meet. He was my best fan through high school and college, and it's a lasting memory for me to think about my father at my track meets. So I still run today, mostly on the Peloton tread. I really enjoy it, or I wouldn't do it. Anyone who knows about the leaderboard on the Peloton tread knows it's in increments of 10 years. So I run in the male 70 to 79 category, and I'm very competitive when I run, and I rarely am at the top of the leaderboard. That's some 70-year-old, which I'm not, but I'm always near the top, and I always continue to try to run harder. Just quickly, we have to drive back to Philadelphia tonight, to talk about what running has meant in my life. I think beginning in high school, my sophomore year, I was 4th in states in the 440. My junior year, I was having a great season, but at the District 3 meet, it's a complicated story, but I fell, I didn't finish, and therefore I didn't qualify for states. But I went back to work, and a year later, the outcome was different. And after college, I continued to run competitively in the Harrisburg area. There's a Harrisburg area Road Runners Club, and for over 10 years, every Sunday afternoon, I went out with maybe 30 other men and women, and we ran a race, different distances, but you know, it fulfilled the need for me to compete in running, and I did it and loved it. So for the past 25 years, I've continued to run. I've been really lucky because I've had almost no running injuries except a torn meniscus a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. That was repaired. I asked the surgeon who did the work, is it okay if I continue to run? And he said, if I were you, I would stop running. And a month later, my knee felt better, and I started to run again. And I'll be running tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. And notwithstanding what Gail, my wife, said, there was a period a few years ago when I was in the jogging mode, but I'm back in the running mode, so I run hard. Now, the final thing, and then I'm done and I'll sit down. I have 3 sons. And I want to tell you a story about 2 of those boys, Jack and David. In October of 2022, at 3:30 a.m. in the morning, they left the south rim of the Grand Canyon and went down the South Kaibab Trail, crossed Phantom Ranch, up the North Kaibab Trail, running the whole time, a mile down in elevation, 1.25 miles up, got to the north rim, about 25.5 miles, turned around, ran back to the south rim. 16.5 hours of running, 52 miles, averaged 130 beats per minute, and among Grand Canyon hikers and runners, it's a feat that's known as R3, rim to rim to rim. And I like to think that they would not have achieved this amazing accomplishment if it weren't for their father instilling in them the love of running and the importance of running. And incidentally, Gail is a dedicated runner. She's on the Peloton almost every day for 30 minutes, and it's evidence that it runs in the family.
Okay, our last inductee coming up, she's a Gettysburg High School grad, went off to Messiah and played softball there, and continue her career after college on the professional level. Am I right, down in Alabama? Yes. Okay. So before your presenter comes up, I don't, where's your dad? I don't see him here. Oh, he's at another table, okay. Bernie's also a lawyer in town. And Bernie, I want to see if you know the answer to this. Being a lawyer, you should. Why can't you trust a softball pitcher? Why can't you trust a softball pitcher?
I don't know.
They are underhanded.
That's the best one.
And Madelyn, you don't know this about Madelyn, but I do, Bernie. You hear things, rumors around, town. But when she was on the professional level down south, they won a game, and she said she was going to treat all her teammates. So they went out to a bar, and she says to the bartender, "I want the biggest container that you have of beer for my team." And the bartender says, "We don't serve pitchers." And with that ends my, time for tonight. My show goes on to Las Vegas, and I have to catch a plane out of here. So, anyway, Madelyn, your presenter is Alex Quigley. I believe you're coach at Messiah, correct?
It is truly my honor to stand here tonight to present a player who I have known and coached for over 10 years. I've had the great fortune to have a front row seat to see her contributions that she has made and continues to make in the sport of softball and in the mentorship of young student athletes. Tonight we welcome Madelyn Yannetti into the Adams County Hall of Fame, celebrating not only an incredible softball career, but even more importantly, celebrating a person who is a true role model for young female student athletes in this area, and one this organization can be proud of going forward. Her early successes at Gettysburg High School, being named the YAIA Division II Pitcher of the Year, holding the single season records in pitching strikeouts, hits, and RBIs, as well as a career leader in batting average, hits, home runs, RBI, slugging percentage, and on-base percentage, just about every hitting statistic you can have. However, this was only the beginning for Madelyn. Upon setting her foot in Messiah University, Madelyn continued to have success. She's a 4-year starter at Messiah. Madelyn was named to the All-Region team and second team, and Middle Atlantic Conference first team in 2017. She's also a member and a big contributor to the Messiah softball team that finished as national runner-up in 2016, being named to the NCAA D3 College World Series All-Tournament team. However, in one of the most incredible performances that I have ever seen in my time as a pitching coach and in a pitching circle, Madelyn went into the NCAA D3 record books for the longest shutout victory, a 1-0 win in which she pitched the full 19 innings. Now, this feat was done in the conference playoff with pressure on the line. Now, I want you to understand this. A normal softball game is 7 innings. So you see, she pitched almost 3 consecutive, non-stop games and didn't give up a run. What is sometimes, or almost all the time, lost in that performance is the fact that at about inning 10, she came to me and said, you might want to get somebody up. I'm starting to get tired. Later, in the 12th inning, she comes up to me and says, hey, I got my 2nd win. I think I'm good to go. So then she says to me, you think maybe we can score a run anytime soon? So I smiled at her and said, hey, keep doing your thing. Now, what is truly amazing is that from inning 12 through inning 19, which is 8 innings, she pitched a perfect game. Not giving up any walks or hits or anything. You know, today, that's a moment that I'm always going to cherish. It's a feat that still, after 7 years since it happened, is just so hard to comprehend. You know, I think about all the athletic and all the mental toughness she had to have to be able to do that. It's something that I will always cherish. And still today, if a current pitcher comes up to me in a game and says, I don't know if I can go 7 innings, I simply say to her, let me tell you a story about a pitcher at Messiah. Madelyn's feat is an inspiration to a new generation of athletes, a role model that helps them push through and keep going. Speaking of keeping going, I could go on talking about Madelyn and all the other things she has done on the field as a mentor and a teacher to the current generations of young players. But my time constraints tell me just to sit down. So, and let you hear from Madelyn herself. Congratulations, Madelyn. You've earned this moment, and we are so proud of you. And I say it is my honor and my privilege to present you for an induction to Adams County Sports Hall of Fame, Miss Madelyn Yannetti.
Thank you. I've clocked myself at about 5 minutes, so don't worry. Thank you, Coach Alex. What kind words. Good evening. It's an honor to be here tonight with such talented company and wonderful people using their time to celebrate athletics in Adams County. To my fellow inductees, congratulations on being recognized for your athletic excellence and commitment to your game, as well as to the surrounding community. I was humbled to see the applicant list. It gives me a sense of reverence to be here with such a strong class of greats. I wish you many successes as your careers and legacies continue. To the Adams County chapter of Pennsylvania State Sports Hall of Fame, I sincerely thank you for your consideration. This is an honor I never expected to earn, but I am incredibly grateful. This town is remarkable and held near to my heart, providing wonderful experiences and learning opportunities. I am proud to still be a member of this community and look forward to being involved for years to come. I took my first steps on a softball field here at this park, right across the way. Wearing knee-length navy blue shorts, huge sliding shin pads, and a crooked visor that proudly displayed Gettysburg spirit. Spirit was accompanied by hard work, dedication, humility, and the confidence to pave a path I am still proud of. This community embraced me, supported my successes, shared my failures, and bolstered me to be my best during my high school career. While one should not place all their happiness in the proverbial high school basket, my coaches, Max Lang and Skip Dudash, supported and enabled me to have an absolute blast at Gettysburg High School. Softball provided an atmosphere for me to find wonderful friends, as well as challenges that form core memories. I experienced genuine joy in learning from my coaches and playing amongst others who share a passion for the game. It will be with great pride that I return to my home softball field here in Gettysburg with my current high school team this upcoming spring. To those who helped me on my path to first, I thank you. I was fortunate to reach my second base at Messiah College University. This period of my life and softball career creates a strong sense of nostalgia. For the highs and lows of navigating collegiate athletics, I am forever grateful. I was fortunate to work with a fantastic staff and my pitching coach, Alex Quigley, throughout my high school years prior to Messiah. I often told him of my grand plans to move away and play, only to find out through an impromptu visit to campus that the Messiah was to be my new home for the next 4 years. The foundational growth that Messiah Softball provided helped turn me into the woman, coach, and mentor I am today. I learned that my worth was not as an athlete, but as a child of God. To my coaches, I thank you for the patience and compassion shown when tears were shed, for the praise and support when our hard work paid off, and for the shoulder to lean on when it felt too heavy to stand on my own. Your belief in me then and your support now resonate deeply. I continue to create a standard of coaching each season modeled on what I learned from you. As I have begun my third base of life, I have enjoyed coaching at both the collegiate and high school level. I work at Redland High School, where if you know anything about Redland, it is that baseball is king. Think back to the Little League World Series. And softball is typically a bit of a forgotten topic that Title IX highly recommends we keep around. Since my time there, I've gained a new respect for coaches, developed relationships with my fellow staff and athletic administration, learned as much as I have taught, and have found fulfillment in still being a part of a game that meant so much to me. Assisting at the collegiate level with Gettysburg College also provides a stimulating and exciting opportunity to work with a diverse group of pitchers with varied abilities who share a desire to be their best. The privilege of working with other athletes on a sport that I love is a dream come true. Coaching provides a perspective that is unique and often difficult to verbalize because it creates many emotions, many feelings. My short time as a coach is in line with this perspective, stretching me to call on my Adams County roots and create something that we will all be proud of for years to come. Now, none of this would be possible if it were not for my home. My parents, Bernie and Effie, are why I am who I am today, why I've had the opportunities I have had, and how I know I can navigate life with the confidence of an ironclad support system. I'm extremely fortunate to say that my family never missed a game. Seriously, they were always there. It was fantastic. They really enjoyed their spring breaks. Again, they never missed a game, right, Miss Christie? Enjoying spring break. They facilitated long-lasting friendships and provided me with loving feedback that expressed how far I could go. Their push to be realistic about the correlation of effort and results shaped how I now work through life, reminding me that nothing works unless you do. My family spent countless resources for my success. Late nights washing dirty uniforms, staying after practices to get extra reps, and even now spending many, many minutes on the phone as I'm now a coach. No softball accolade or personal best can overshadow my home, my family. To my family, I sincerely thank you. To all of you here tonight, I thank you for your time and consideration. I hope we each continue to impact and influence others as we have been with our sports opportunities. Thank you.
Okay, in closing, I know like John said, he has a few-hour ride back to Philadelphia. I'm sure some of you are just local, but anyway, we were very happy that everybody came. It was a wonderful evening. I hopefully enjoyed it as much as I did. And one of the things is we're, a nonprofit organization, and we just keep our head above water with, trying to cover any costs throughout the year in terms of this banquet and the and also, the things we get with the plaques, etc. So it is if you're not a member, I would highly hope that you would maybe join. You don't have to live in, in Adams County. You can live outside the county and still have, if you have a connection here. It's only $15 a year, and the life membership is $150. So, and that includes all the inductees. I think all the inductees are here are members. But we'd certainly like to have a little more than 105, get back up to the 150, 200 in the days. And we actually did increase. Last year we were under 100, so we have increased a little bit. Those who are members, reach out to your friends, neighbors, and ask them to become members. Certainly you reach out to myself or Ed or anybody else here. We should have had, you know, applications back on the table, and that's my fault, and there's nothing there, but please touch base with me or say something before you leave and maybe give me your address, and I could certainly send you, you know, an application. In closing here, we have Lefty Beiser. He'll give the benediction. So we could all please stand.
Before I offer the benediction, I wanted to just say a little bit about Bob Kenworthy. He and I were supposed to come together tonight, but he's currently in the hospital with what looks like to be a congestive heart failure. So please keep Bob in your prayers. I know his wife is really concerned about him, and so am I. We've been friends a long, long time. So let us pray. Father in heaven, for Jesus' sake, we ask your blessing upon each and every person here this night. We thank you for the wonderful gifts that you've bestowed upon all those who were inducted into this hall this night. We ask you to continue to bless them and give them your grace and your peace as they go through life and flourish in the activities and the work that they do. We thank you, O Lord, for these recipients. We pray that they will long remember the gifts they received this night, the wonderful work you've done in their lives. We ask your blessing upon them now. And as we leave, O Lord, we thank you for all veterans. And we ask you to continue to bless the veterans in the days to come for the gifts they've given to us to live in a country that's free. We pray all this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Pictures of everybody? Everybody come up for a picture? Yeah.
The inductees, please come up here with your plaques to get a picture for not only the paper. So don't leave inductees and get a picture for the paper. Safe travels home.
That's good.
There are flowers at the table. Please take those flowers with you. Take the flowers.